And then after that, the party went to Silvery Moon, and they were trying to find a party member, like people to replace the one cleric that they had, and Zoltank. They wanted to replace him. And then they went to a tavern, and they saw this, like, some kind of like coin game happening. And in the corner of the bar is this very tough looking blood hunter with white hair and armor. He's a half elf, half wood elf, half human. And uh there's also was a, let me get the picture up because I think I have it. Yeah, there was also uh, a cleric, a trickster cleric who looked very similar to the Blood Hunter, kind of like swindling people. And the bet was like, if you lose the game, you pay double the price. But if you win the game, you get like a free kind of like job, because they're giant hunters, and the party was hunting, was going after Storm King's Thunder. It was a giant campaign, and Joran basically went up and was like, "All right, we're hiring you two giant hunters," and that is how the Kelmar twins, Luna and Geralt, because Dylan was watching The Witcher a bunch. Luna and Geralt joined the party. And the first prank she played on them was like pretending to fall overboard on the airship, which, you know, triggered everyone's PTSD. So it's probably not a good idea. But yeah, that's what happened to Yecilda, and how Luna, my baby, got introduced. Fucking such a wacky time. I told the Luna story last stream, but yeah, Yecilda fucking, we still have not, it's been like 2 years, and we still have not recovered from that. Like whenever we're like, because like the party still has the airship, and whenever we're like after Yecilda died, Char, who was the Dragonborn monk that failed to save her, Char had built this net system underneath the airship, kind of like what they have on ship masts. So if someone does fall overboard, there is a net to possibly catch them, and like lots of things to grab onto. Because Char was just like, this can never happen again, never again, ever. Yeah, it definitely affected him. It affected everyone. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, oh, I remember the worst part. The worst part was that Flocked didn't find out until like, so the party went back to Waterdeep. I need to blow my nose again. Fucking hell. Oh my god, this again, this thing's still affecting me. This chili. But anyway, the party went back to Waterdeep because Flogter was having his wedding. Flogter, again, he was a fighter Goliath, and I should specify that. And interesting enough, he was his partner was Changeling, because I kind of put them into. I'm pretty sure that breaks canon, but we just decided what the fuck ever. And yeah, Flogter was getting married, and Flogter's like all dressed up, like everything's getting ready, and it's like 3 days before the wedding, and Flogter's like, where is Yecilda? And Luna and Geralt have no idea who Yecilda is. All they were told was that they had a cleric, and she died. She didn't get told that she fell overboard and splattered to her death until she did like the airship prank, and then she was like, "Ooh, yeah, no, don't do that again. That's forbidden." But yeah, Flogter was like, "Where's Yecilda?" And then Joran had to sit down and tell him what happened. No, wait, no, she didn't. She just handed him the letter, and then she went to make a really strong drink for herself because she owns this tavern called the Unseen Servant because there's a ghost in the tavern that helps serve people. But yeah, Floater saw the letter. He got really fucking upset. In fact, he got so mad that he went to like this training range that they have, and he started beating the shit out of this training dummy until his fucking knuckles started bleeding. It was really fucking heartbreaking to watch. And then eventually everyone was like, you know, Yecilda wanted you to have a happy wedding, so like let's have a happy wedding. And Larimar and Joran and Luna all went out to get dresses, and Joran, who was like the maid of honor, was like, Luna, do you want to be the flower girl? And Luna was like, I get to go to a wedding, because Luna's like banned from going to weddings. Like, she is banned. Like in Silvery, despite being a cleric of Timora, she was kind of kicked out of. Well, she was kind of fled from her church. You know, it's a whole backstory thing. Because her and her brother were separated at a certain age. It's a whole thing. I might talk about it in a different stream. But Luna is banned from going to weddings, birthdays, religious events. But basically a bunch of shit she's banned from because last wedding, if I remember correctly, she replaced the cake frosting with mayonnaise. She replaced the doves with crows. What else was it? Pretty sure she had a wand of smiles that she used to make people frown at inappropriate times. But anyway, she was super happy she got to go to the wedding, so we all went out dress shopping. And yeah, yeah. That's probably the main reason she was banned. It was like, yeah, Luna, it's meant to be a happy, joyous day. You can't have like ominous omens. But Luna's like, but it's funny. And it's like, yeah, you're banned from coming to any weddings. So it's the first one she'd been to in like 3 years. But anyway, they went dress shopping, and Joran is a how did Regan put it? How did she put it? Joran has been blessed. She's well endowed, is what Joran said. So they had to go to like 3 different dress shops to try to find one that met her specifications. And it was really interesting. I really wish I got art commissioned of like the wedding. Yeah, she's super thick. I've asked Regan to send me a picture of her, so I might show that next stream. But yeah, very thick dragonborn mummy milkers. But yeah, I really wish we got like art commissioned of the wedding. I might ask the party if they want to chip in for like a commission, because that could be a cool. We've been wanting to get a party, like a full party commission for a long time now. Because the idea was that we'd get like an art piece that they would have put on the tavern wall. And I think the idea of having like Flogter's wedding, and then like maybe like a shadow of Yecilda, or like this blurry silhouette of Yecilda in the background to kind of be like she was there spiritually. But yeah, that would have been super nice. And then Yecilda, she was very well behaved at the wedding. Everyone was super proud of her. She only did 2 pranks at the wedding. Only 2. Right? And they were really good ones. Her brother Gerald does not smile very often. It is very uncommon. The stories break my... We were talking about that actually. We were talking about like getting some of our D&D moments animated. That would be a really cool idea, because my friend Noah is earning some big cash as a game developer. So, you know, he might be able to help get us an animated, because I want animated shorts. But anyway, Gerald doesn't smile very often, and Luna still had the wand of smiles. So she was like, you know what? You're gonna smile. And she kept using it on him. And he was like forced to smile. And it was a wholesome prank. And then afterwards, like Gerald's just like, I thought we agreed you wouldn't use any of your magic on me unless it was to help me in battle. And Luna was like, come on, it's a party. You gotta smile. And he was like, hmm. And then when they had the vows, Gerald smiled and he was like, I told you not to use it on me again. And Luna was like, I didn't use it this time. And then Gerald realized that was like the first time he'd like smiled in public. And that was very wholesome. It was very, very wholesome. And the the other prank was this wasn't this so Gerald is a heavy drinker, a very, very heavy drinker. She ensured that the entire time he was drinking non-alcoholic drinks without him knowing. So yeah, he had a placebo drunk, and he's like, blah 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 blah. And it's like, wow, you're Luna, your brothers are, you know, quite the drunk. And then Luna's just like, he's not drunk, he's just being very chatty. I'm very happy to see him this way. And then everyone had a hangover, and Gerald had a hangover, and Luna's just like, Gerald, you're not hungover, you're just tired. You're just being lazy. But yeah, we had like a wedding, and Flogter ended up having, I think, sextuplets or triplets. I don't know, is it sextuplets or triplets? Because again, we did the dice roll thing. Well, I did the dice roll thing as a DM, and I said as a joke in my head, if I roll like the lowest possible on this percentile roll, sextuplets. No, it wasn't sextuplets. It was four quadruplets. It was quadruplets. I remember, because I remember thinking 6 was too much and unrealistic, and quadruplets was more realistic. And so that's why I said as a joke, if I roll the worst possible quadruplets, and then that happened, and Flogter ended up having 4 children, some of which were changelings, which is very interesting. So it's going to be interesting how he deals with that, because he's coming back next campaign, because the sequel campaign, I think it happens either 10 or 15 years later. Flogter's like working for like the Waterdeep Guard. He's high ranking. Durin owns a tavern and a bathhouse, and this is rumor, okay? This is just a rumor. She might be a Masked Lord of Waterdeep, because it makes sense. She's a famous adventurer. She's killed a great worm. She's helped the Storm King. Our party is called the Storm King's Thunder, because we thought that was a fucking cool name. I came up with it. Well, Luna came up with it. And the Storm King actually said, yes, you can use that name. I condone it, which is fucking awesome. She owns one of the best taverns in Waterdeep. She owns the only the best bathhouse in Waterdeep. So she's definitely probably a Masked Lord. Larimar did a bunch of soul searching. Char and Jorman are a couple. They're like a power couple. Luna opened not an orphanage, a school for like underprivileged kids called Tymura's Luckiest, which is funded by the government of Waterdeep and Luna. She's Luna's the headmaster, and it's very funny because it's like a wholesome school. It's like Charles Xavier's school for the gifted youngsters. Like, yes, it's a school, but Luna's also secretly scouting out possible future adventurers, because Luna's like, we're the best adventurers in Waterdeep, but one day we're going to die, so we need someone else to defend this place. So she's like secretly scouting like talented individuals and giving them special classes. Any color change dragons that can change scale colors like chameleons? I don't believe so. I don't think we have those. Do they exist? I mean, dragons can cast polymorph on themselves. So, oh, that would be cool. But yeah, Flogta is a Goliath, but if it was like a dragonborn and a changeling, that could be a cool flavor thing. But anyway, that's the D&D story for today. I don't think I have any other D&D stories that I can think of. But yeah, that's what happened to Yecilda. It's kind of it's kind of fucked up. Kind of fucked up. I mean, a lot of fucked up stuff happened in our campaign. Like back when I was running Waterdeep, because basically the way it worked was we ran Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and then after that campaign, the party moved over to Storm King's Thunder. We fucked with the timeline. We made it work into the canon. So it went Waterdeep Dragon Heist, Storm King's Thunder, and then it's the next campaign with this party is, I don't know what it's called yet, but it's going to be Homer, and it's the aftermath of Luna sending a primordial to the abyss because she thought it would be funny, and she was lazy and she didn't want to deal with the problems. If you want to hear that story, I think there's a highlight of it from last stream. But yeah, the next campaign is going to be the aftermath of whatever the fuck happened there. Because I remember our DM like looked at me at the end of the campaign after I did that and was like, "You realize this is like the worst place to put it? Like it's a great place if you want to play a prank on the devils and demons." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's one of the reasons Luna did it." But you realize it would fuck up the power hierarchy, right? Like this primordial will become quite powerful because it's a very, I don't want to spoil which one it is, but it's a very fucking strong one. And the party didn't realize that quite at the time how legendary this primordial was. But yeah. So essentially there's probably going to be like an invasion. And again, I already know what Luna's going to say. I already know what Luna's going to say. It's going to be like, this happened. Oh, we have reason to believe that an unknown primordial was sent to the abyss for some reason. And Luna, and it's like, I don't know how it happened or why. Someone sent it there, and we're not sure why. And Luna's just going to be like, I don't know, fam. Maybe someone thought it would be really funny. And then it wasn't funny, right? You know, it was probably someone who was young and, a little bit less wise and a little bit less rich and, maybe had manic depression and it was a stir of the moment decision. And, maybe they didn't realize how poor it would be to do this. And everyone's going to be looking at Luna and it's like, oh yeah, you did do that. And then Jordan's going to be like, I take back my high five. Bad job, Luna. Very bad. And the party's going to have, they're going to have one final big push. And it's going to be so cool. And rumor is, okay, this is a rumor from our DM. Supposedly, Yecilda's coming back. Somehow, or at least a cameo. And what was his name? Bubbles. Bubbles was the party's very, very first cleric when I was running Waterdeep Dragon Heist. He was a very old turtle. He was like maximum turtle age. He was very close to death. He was a very wholesome turtle. And there's a bunch of stories with him, like okay. Huge spoilers for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. This is big spoilers. Okay, so you have a few seconds to like mute the stream if you don't want spoilers for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Ding 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 ding. Okay, spoiler time. So in Waterdeep Dragon Heist, a bunch of stuff happens, and the party is meant to explore like investigate this fireball that happens. How will people know when the spoilers stop and they can unmute? Okay, so people will know that spoilers stop because I'm gonna put the be right back. Wait, that's not be right back. I'll put the be right back screen on. When I put be right back on, the spoilers are over. Okay. That's how you know. If I put be right back on, it means the spoilers are over. There you go. Thank you for reminding me that I forgot that if you can't hear that spoilers are over. Okay, but anyway, I'll put be right back on to say that spoilers are over. Alright, okay, here we go. So the party is meant to investigate a fireball. Before the fireball happens, the party gets given a tavern, and the campaign implies the party is meant to be like, oh no, our Troll Skull Alley was hit with a huge fireball, and we have to investigate because our tavern was nearly burnt down, and because, you know, what if it happens again? But like, I knew my party would be like, no, the guards can handle it. Like, why the fuck should we get involved? Like, even Durin would be like, yeah, the guards would do it. But this is like a young Durin. This is a young Durin, a young Larimer. This is a very, very different Larimer, by the way. So, you know, they wouldn't really get involved. This is silly male myself in a letter, I'm a tiny spider Larimer. You know, very, very foolish. Very, very foolish. So I knew they wouldn't get involved. So I gave them a bunch of time, like at least a week or two, before the fireball happened, to get to know all these NPCs in Troll Skull Alley and to set up their tavern. And I added some neighbors because there was a little bit of empty land, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to add a bakery. And this is the story of Wilhelmina and her son that I can't remember the fucking name. I think it was Wilhelmina and Wallace. That was their name. So I added the bakery, and every morning they would smell, like, awaken to the smell of, like, fresh bread from the bakery. And Wilhelmina, who is a, like, late 30s, early 40s mother, like a single mother, her husband, I believe died of, like, an illness. I made it, like, generic anime. Her husband died of an illness, like, when Wallace was about 3. So Wallace doesn't remember his father very well. And he's been dead for, like, maybe, like, 6 years. Wallace is about 9? 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. Wallace is 9. And at the end of every week, instead of throwing out all the unsold goods, Wilhelmina would deliver the unsold goods to the party at the tavern for free. And, you know, so the first time she does this, she sends her son Wallace, right? And Wallace knocks on the door. It's like a... And the first person to answer the door is Larimer. And backstory on Larimer, her favorite food is bread. She fucking loves bread. It is 100% canon. And Larimer opens the door. And Larimer just sees this boy holding up bread. And Wallace says, "Oi, my mum told me to give you this bread." And Larimer says, "Cool." She takes the basket, she slams the door in Wallace's face, and then she goes to eat the bread. And in my head, I'm like, oh, great. Like bread rolls, like bread rolls, pastries. There was some sweet roll kind of things there. It was basically anything that was unsold. But Larimer's favorite bread is just any type of bread. She, if it is baked and bready, she'll eat it. It's her favorite. It's just bread in general. But yeah, she slammed the door on Wallace, and Wilhelmina, like the next week, Wilhelmina came in herself to deliver the bread, and was like, oh, like, and this time, like, and then Joran answered the door, and Joran was like, we're not open yet, but hello, nice to meet you. And Wilhelmina was like, oh, I'm the neighbor at the bakery, this and that. And she was like, oh, I'm trying to remember her voice. She was like, I delivered some bread last week, and I sent my son Wallace, and he apparently had the door slammed in his face, and Jordan kind of like, oh, it's Larimer, she's bad at socializing. And then they kind of sat down and talked, and then Jordan was like, hey, we need to sell food. You bake bread. Can we like have a business partnership? And then they kind of made like they were in talks of like a partnership to like kind of like she'd give them a discount on goods, and then they'll sell at their tavern. And that was going to happen. And then the party would visit Wilhelmina, like they would kind of like invite her over for tea. They'd have all these business talks, and then she'd come in and give them bread every week. And Bubbles got along with Wallace very, very well. Bubbles is the turtle cleric that I mentioned. And they got along super duper well. Like, very, very well. He was kind of like trying to kind of like do magic tricks for Wallace, and he was super impressed. And then one day Wallace is just like can I talk to my dad? Because like he doesn't quite understand how clerics work. And Bubbles is a very like low level cleric. They're like level 3 at this point. And Bubbles kind of like, oh well, you know, he might not answer. And Wallace is like, I really want to talk to my dad. I don't remember him at all. Like I really want to talk to him. So Bubbles pretends to like talk for his dad, and he's like, oh, what's Bubbles' voice again? He was like, he had this really like old crone voice. He was like, your dad told me to tell you that, you know, like keep living, you know, be strong, help your mom, you know, do the right thing, stay in school, like all that stuff. And then Wallace was like crying and thanking Bubbles, and like he was super happy. And he was like, oh, I get picked on because I'm the only person that doesn't have a dad. And then I decided, all right, the party has gotten used to Wilhelmina. The party has gotten used to Wallace. They've met all their neighbors. Now's the time to be fucking evil. So, yes, I did. I fucking planned this because I was like, the party's not going to investigate the fireball unless I give them a reason to. So, late at night, the party is asleep in their tavern, because the tavern, and there's also like rooms for the party. All of a sudden, they hear this boom, and it's an explosion. Because this is a big fucking fireball. This is meant to like light up. It's meant to start a medium-sized fire. And I was like, no, not a medium-sized fire. So the fireball happens. They smell the fire. They hear the screaming, and the party rushes outside. They see the entire bakery on fire. The general store starting to burn. Their building is starting, like their tavern is starting to catch fire. A couple of houses are burning. The bookstore that Joran loves is being severely burnt, and Joran's like, fuck, what do we got to do? And they end up, like, Joran like goes full mom mode, and she's like, Larimer, you start casting, like, because Larimer had these water spells, like, you start like getting water from the well and like, you know, put out the fire at you know, make sure the fire doesn't spread. And then it was like, I forgot what the druid's name. We had like a barbarian, not a, I think his name was Atlas. He was Zach's old character before Char. Atlas was going to go into the houses, kind of to save as many people as possible. Jerome was going to go into the bookstore, try to save the patron. She was being a little greedy. There were some overpriced books, and her plan was to like take some of those books for herself as well. She was rescuing some, but like the books that she felt was like super duper overpriced, she was gonna like keep for herself. And like she was gonna return them after she had read them, but still. And they kind of split up, and Durin's saving people and the books. Atlas is breaking into houses saving people. And that left Bubbles with the job of going into the bakery. because Bubbles had a hard turtle shell. He's a cleric. He was able to like power through the fire, and I was so happy because the actual party was panicking. Like the actual players, they did not expect this shit, but I had planned it. So Bubbles enters, like smashes through the bakery, and he sees like Wilhelmina kind of like completely unconscious, and like she's kind of like over Wallace, and Wallace is coughing and spluttering. And then Bubbles gets over to Wallace, and like Wallace is like very, very dazed, and he says like this to Bubbles: "My dad's calling for me now. I'm gonna see him again." And Bubbles pulls them out, and Wallace dies in his arms. And the whole party fucking screamed at me. All of my friends just yelling at me like, "How fucking dare you! I can't believe you'd make these..." And it's like, yeah, they were like, "This book is so cruel, this book is so mean." And I didn't tell them until after we finished the campaign that Wallace and Wilhelmina aren't real characters, that there's no bakery in Troll Skull Alley. I didn't tell them that until at the end of the campaign, because I didn't want them to get super mad. And basically they were like we need to figure out what, like the party was like, yeah, we need to figure out what happened, like why this fireball happened. Was this an assassination attempt at the bakery? Were they trying to burn down a tavern because they had like a rival tavern? Is this like the Zentarum guild that we fought, like getting revenge? Is the Xanathar guild? What the fuck is going on? So that is how I got them to investigate the fireball that I knew they never would. And that's the end of spoilers, so... Bang. Spoilers are over. Welcome back, people. Welcome back. Spoilers are over. No more spoilers. But yeah, it was pretty cruel. I was a little mean. I was a little bit mean. Oh my god, that voice fucking kills me. But yeah,